I made this Cob Pizza Oven for just over $100 and I'll show you how. I knew I wanted the oven to be mobile, so I picked up this barbecue from the thrift store for 35 bucks. The cart seemed pretty stable, which is important because Cob ovens are heavy. First, I take it apart so I can eliminate everything I don't need. Next, I need to make a cooking base. I'd seen other DIYers use fire bricks for this part, but my local hardware stores didn't seem to have any in stock. I could have ordered them, but instead I just used these ordinary landscaping bricks with a couple of these pizza stones on top, which I ordered from Amazon for $28 each. These represent the main expense for the project. Next, I make a form to support the exterior wall. I'd seen people do this with just a huge pile of sand, but I'm a big fan of just using what I have on hand, so I'm just using some bricks, some foam, and a garbage bag stuffed with clothes. Then I use just a little bit of sand to fill in any weird angles. I think you can get away with just about anything that will hold its shape pretty well, but then it needs to be easy enough to remove once the cob is dry. Everything I read online said that the ratio of the height of the vent to the height of the dome is really important. Supposedly the magic number is 63%. So I made my vent 11 inches high, and the inside of the dome is 18 inches high, a ratio of 61%. And forgive me for not using metric. I also made sure my door width was just big enough to admit a Papa Murphy's large pizza. I was a little worried about the wide span being able to support the dome above, so I threw in a piece of aluminum angle that I had left over from another project. With the base done and inside form built up, I'm ready to start building up the cob. Cob is just a mixture of clay, sand, and something tensile to bind it together. To make my cob, I sourced some great clay from Roots Charter High School, a farm school where I used to teach. I've never harvested my own clay before, but I'm pretty sure this is good quality stuff. I think I ended up with 3 buckets worth for the whole project. I'd seen people process the clay to make it more pure, but since I'm about to add sand to it anyway, I'm content to just break it up to help it hydrate faster. Next comes sand. For this, I'm just using dirt from my yard, which is obviously very sandy. Proper sand is probably best, and I did eventually buy some, but at this point in the project I was just eager to start experimenting with the cob. For a binder, you just need something with tensile strength. I started by using grass clippings, but started to worry that that wasn't strong enough, so I started cutting up this rope and adding it to the mix. I worried that after firing up the oven, the rope and grass clippings would totally burn and lose all their tensile strength, but the oven has survived many firings now and seems to be no worse off for it. Mixing up the cob was pretty haphazard for me. I'd read a few different ratios online and wasn't sure which one to go with, so I pretty much just winged it. It seemed pretty straightforward to me. Just keep adding more of the thing that makes the cob seem like it will be a better building material. I found that when it was really sticky and would clump up in heavy clumps on my gloves, then it was probably ready. Building up the dome was fun and straightforward, but the bucket of cob went pretty fast and I ended up doing probably 5 batches. I did things mostly the same each time, except in the later batches I was using store-bought play sand and adding a bunch more of the rope clippings. I was careful to put this vent in the right place. Remember, 63%. This round duct was less than 10 bucks, but it still seems like a shame to buy it because I just recently threw some of these things out. This kind of situation fuels my inner hoarder. I let it dry overnight and felt confident enough at that point to remove the insides. I made my own pizza peel out of some junk I had lying around, earning myself +1 hoarder points. But then I purchased a proper brush on Amazon for $12. For the door, I just used another landscaping brick I had found in my yard and fashioned a little handle with some wire. I had heard that if you had done it right, it would be ready to fire immediately, so scared as I was of it cracking up, I threw caution to the wind and built the first fire inside. Everything went fine, so I tried cooking a Papa Murphy's pizza. It came in contact with some of the coals, so it burnt just on the one side pretty badly, but otherwise it cooked really well. The total costs involved look like this, but the pizza party with friends was priceless.